Hi, we have a fine weather today. It's a nice day, sunny, and I have decided to do a valve adjustment on my Punisher. This is my Punisher, a Motorstar Explorer Z200, also known internationally as Zongshen ZS200 GS. A few years back, I think it was about year 2008, I think that was 7 years ago, I showed a video of this motorcycle with a very noisy engine because the valve needs some adjustment, but I wasn't able to follow up that video because I lost my camera, unfortunately. Now it is year 2014 and this bike is already 9 years old, and finally I will be able to create this video that shows how to adjust the valve of this particular model. The engine design of this motorcycle is what we call an OHV, or overhead valve. Okay, this is different from other modern engine that has OHC, an overhead cam. No? Alright, what we're going to do is remove the seat, some of the covers, and the tank, so that we will be able to expose the top engine and then remove the top cover, so that we will have an access to the valve, yes, that we're going to adjust. Okay, so let's start stripping this bike down. Okay, let's see how are we going to do this, and here are some of the tools that we're going to use. A large pliers, a socket wrench that is about number 14. Okay, so and okay, an impact screw set. Okay, and most of the other tools that we're going to need are still inside the toolbox of the motorcycle, which is located at the pillion seat. Okay, wait. Okay, now let's remove that. Okay, those are the other tools. Whoa, for a long time. Okay, the tool set case is already wrecked, torn out. Okay. Okay. Now the tools are set. Let's go into do the stripping down.
Business, let's go.
We got that Coca-Cola bottle, shake, shake, shake. We got that sugar, do you wanna taste, taste, taste? We take it all around the globe, baby, everywhere we go. Make it hot when mama rock and shake, shake, shake. Like, oh, you know you want it. Andale, you know we got it. That's why we say, oh, Latina.
Okay, so we have already stripped down the motorcycle. As you can see, we don't have the seat anymore. We don't have the tank. Okay, I have already opened the top engine. Okay, the case is right over there, and we also have to remove the bolt here. The cover. It's actually a cover. Okay, for looking at the when you are going to look for the top dead center, you have to open this part, and we remove also the cover for on the side of the engine this way. Okay, now before anything else, we have to put a gasket on the top cover. This is the top cover of the engine. We have to put a gasket or a liquid gasket around it, and then we allow it to dry while we are working on the engine. Okay, so we're going to put the gasket now.
Latina baby, soy Latina baby. Okay, let's go.
Okay, let us allow this to dry for a while. Okay, usually it only requires about 10 minutes to dry, but we'll see. Okay, let's leave that engine cover for now. So here we are at the engine, and we are now on the one of the crucial part of adjusting the valve is to get the top dead center, or TDC. Some people would abbreviate like that, and the TDC happens after during the compression stroke. So we cannot see the compression stroke, so we have to identify it right after the intake stroke. So we are going to rotate this part, and then we will see the intake valve. We have to watch the intake valve and the exhaust valve. Okay, so I'm rotating the engine now, and then okay, I am waiting for the intake valve to open. Okay, alright, so that's the exhaust valve. It opened. So after the exhaust stroke, we now have the intake stroke. Okay, there goes the intake valve. It is now opening, and then it is now closing. Alright, now after the intake stroke, we are now going to look at the window, or the engine window. Okay, and then watch out for the symbol, the letter T. No, it says that's the top dead center. There's a notch above. Okay, on this camera. Okay, and let's look for the letter T symbol. Okay, before the letter T symbol, you're going to see first a double bar. Okay, that's the double bar. Okay, we have a letter F. I still don't know what that means, but I am keeping on rotating because the top dead center, or the letter T symbol, is following up next. Okay, there you go. Okay, you have to on the camera you cannot see how it is aligned with the notch on the hole, but I could see it above. I have to be directly above. The camera cannot do that. Okay, there you go. That line beside the T is already aligned with the notch. Okay, whoops. Okay, that's good. We now have the top dead center. Okay, we're now going to inspect the valves if there is already, what's the causing of the rattling. Okay, so the cause of the rattling usually because there's enough what you call that. Okay, I'm tired already, so you better expect a lot of stammering right now. Okay, alright, so to check that, you have to move the rocker arm up and down. Okay, yes, we have a play here, so that's that's the cause of the rattling sound of the engine when you run it. Okay, let's check also the exhaust valve. Okay, the rocker arm for the exhaust valve, let's move it up and down. Yes, there's that play. Alright, we're now going to tighten them up because it has loosened. Okay, with the top dead center or TDC in place, we are now going to tighten the, or we are now going to adjust the two valves, the intake valve and the exhaust valve. Okay, we will start first with the intake valve, and to do that, okay, notice that there is a nut there. No, that's not an ordinary nut. That is a very high tensile metal or high carbon metal that that is used to lock the rocker arm in place onto the valve. Okay, so to do that, we have to use pliers. Okay, a snub nose pliers in okay, to be precise, and a wrench, a number 10 wrench. Okay, I'm becoming forgetful of the true name of the tool, but we need something like this one with a number 10. Okay, it will fit perfectly on the okay, what you call this, valve lock. All right, so okay, with that in place, okay, you will notice also that the adjuster has a protruding thing, or yeah, thing. That's where you put the, and then it is angled, or sorry, it's square, so it will fit snugly on the pliers like this one. Okay, so I am going to perform the and then I'll be out of the camera for a while because I don't have an assistant here. I'm sorry. Okay, so okay, by the way, we have to loosen it first before we do the adjustment. Okay, I'll loosen first the nut. Okay, just for a while. Okay, so we have loosened the nut, okay, of the valve adjuster. So we are now going to tighten the adjuster. The adjuster is actually just a threaded adjuster that you have to rotate clockwise to tighten them, but not too tight enough. Just allow it to, okay, rotate it, and then okay, until you feel a slight stop, and then you stop. No, don't tighten it any further. No, tightening it any further will just damage your engine when you or probably sooner, okay, than later. So okay, we're now trying to look for the right tightness of the exhaust valve. Okay, but as I've read with other articles before, when tightening the you must apply more clearance on the exhaust valve. Okay, like this now. So instead of a stop, when you feel the stop, you do a reverse, a very slight reverse only. No, just okay, avoid any tightness, or yeah. Okay, it is very important to use your fingers so that you could really feel, okay, the right tightness. I have done this countless of times, so we can expect that I have achieved a certain level of mastery already. Okay, so there you go. We have already tightened the valve. Okay, to test if it is tight with the proper or correct tightness. Okay, you have to do the what I did about a while ago. Okay, to check if there's a clearance. No, so you have to move it up and down the rocker arm. Okay, there's no more movement. See, okay, but you have this time you have to move it sideways. Okay, left and right. Okay, there should be a slight movement. No, okay, because without that slight movement, that means you have already over tightened your valve. Okay, which is as I've said a while ago, it is wrong. No, it's going to damage your valve permanently. Okay, There you go. Alright, there's a clearance on the sideways, and there's no more clearance up and down motion. Oh, there's still a slight one. Okay, let's do it again. Okay, this is also very crucial, no? Because if you do this wrong, you will damage your engine, or else the opposite will make your engine more noisy. Okay, if you do it a lot loose. Okay, so that's it. Okay, there's a test again. Okay, this is a good adjustment. Okay, the exhaust valve. Okay, there's too much up and down motion, so let's tighten it a bit. Okay, okay, that's good. Nah, correct. Okay, now aside. Good. Okay. Okay, with this in place, we're now going to tighten the nut of the adjuster. Okay. To tighten the nut of the adjuster, you use the same tools as the pliers, okay, there, and the wrench, okay, but this time you have to be very firm with the pliers, no, so that it won't move anymore, no, or the correct adjustment that you have done will just be ruined. Okay, so I'll do this for a while. I'll be off camera for a while. Alright. Okay, we have now successfully tightened everything. Okay, it is now ready to put all the covers back.
The business, let's go.
We got that Coca-Cola bottle, shake, shake, shake. We got that sugar, do you wanna taste, taste, taste? We take it all around the globe, baby, everywhere we go. Make it happen, mama, rock and shake, shake, shake. Like, oh, you know you want it. Andale, you know we got it. That's why we say, soy Latina, baby, soy Latina, baby. Okay, let's party, say ole. Soy Latina y la noche, we own it, baby. Okay, let's party, say ole. I got that Coca-Cola bottle, shake, shake, shake. But how much
Okay, so this is the moment of truth. We are going to start the motorcycle after the valve adjustment. Okay, we will try to. Okay, we will start it, and then we will warm it a little bit. Then I might do a little spin. Okay, so I'm going over there now, and I hope this the engine starts. Else, it would be very embarrassing. Right. Okay, so what do you think, guys? Okay, I am signing off now.